How much more do we take? This is the final straw. Every dollar, every day, watch our freedom and country slipping away. Our hands are tied, voices ignored, but we're rising. Let's knock on the door. Working hard just to breathe, taxed on everything we need. Fuel is rising, making millions in taxes. Cost of living about to go sky high. Tell me how we live like that. Bills are stacking up, taxes on everything. They say short-term pain, long-term gain. Just more lies, more tricks, it's our country. Stand up New Zealand, Kia kaha. They fleece us like we are the sheep. We've been patient, we've been calm. Now we're sounding the alarm, calling everyone together. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take this anymore. It's our country. Stop acting like it's yours. We will be knocking on the door. This is the final straw. You better hear our voices call. Drop your taxes, or we be standing at the door. It's our country. Stop acting like it's yours. We won't take this anymore. Listen, no, we will be knocking on the door. No more, no more. Hear the people roar, see us at the door. No, no more, no more. We ain't lying, we ain't taking this no more. Gas keeps rising every week. You know you're lying, it's a global plan. Numbers don't lie, we can see it all. This ain't how it's gonna be anymore. You work for us, not the corporations. When our numbers, we alive, trying to just get by. Every rule, every fee, every lie takes a piece of you and me. We aren't free. You can only lie and push us so too far. Now we know just who you are. Stripping money for the corporation. This is the final straw. We won't take it anymore. Push to the edge now. We are knocking on the door. Not about left or right. We are your bosses, not the corporations. It's about wrong and right. It's about living a good life without this broken system. Stand together, side by side. They turned up the pressure. One voice becomes a way for us all, and we ain't afraid. This is the final straw. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take it anymore. Hear the people now. You have been warned. We will be stronger. You ain't seen this before. Listen, before we break down the door. No more taxes, no lies, no tricks. We ain't gonna take it anymore. Listen, listen, listen. We'll be knocking on the door. How much more? How much more do we take? This is the final straw. Every dollar, every day, watch our freedom and country slipping away. Our hands are tied, voices ignored, but we're rising. Let's knock on the door. Working hard just to breathe, taxed on everything we need. Fuel is rising, making millions in taxes. Cost of living about to go sky high. Tell me how we live like that. Bills are stacking up, taxes on everything. They say short-term pain, long-term gain. Just more lies, more tricks, it's our country. Stand up New Zealand, Kia kaha. They fleece us like we are the sheep. We've been patient, we've been calm. Now we're sounding the alarm, calling everyone together. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take this anymore. It's our country. Stop acting like it's yours. We will be knocking on the door. This is the final straw. You better hear our voices call. Drop your taxes, or we be standing at the door. It's our country. Stop rising every week. You know you're lying, it's a global plan. Numbers don't lie, we can see it all. This ain't how it's gonna be anymore. You work for us, not the corporations. When our numbers, we alive, trying to just get by. Every rule, every fee, every lie takes a piece of you and me. We aren't free, you can only lie and push us so too far. Now we know just who you are. Scripting money for the corporation. This is the final straw. We won't take it anymore. Push to the edge now. We are knocking on the door. Not about left or right. We are your bosses, not the corporations. It's about wrong and right. It's about living a good life without this broken system. Stand together, side by side. They turned up the pressure. One voice becomes a way for us all, and we ain't afraid. This is the final straw. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take it anymore. Hear the people now. You have been warned. We will be stronger. You ain't seen this before. Listen, before we break down the door. No more taxes, no lies, no tricks. We ain't gonna take it anymore. Listen, listen, listen. We'll be knocking on the door. How much more? How much more do we take? This is the final straw. Every dollar, every day, watch our freedom and country slipping away. Our hands are tied, voices ignored, but we're rising. Let's knock on the door. Working hard just to breathe, taxed on everything we need. Fuel is rising, making millions in taxes. Cost of living about to go sky high. Tell me how we live like that. Bills are stacking up, taxes on everything. They say short-term pain, long-term gain. Just more lies, more tricks, it's our country. Stand up, New Zealand, Kia kaha. They fleece us like we are the sheep. We've been patient, we've been calm. Now we're sounding the alarm, calling everyone together. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take this anymore. It's our country. Stop acting like it's yours. We will be knocking on the door. This is the final straw. You better hear our voices call. Drop your taxes, or we be standing at the door. It's our country. Stop acting like it's yours. We won't take this anymore. Listen, no, we will be knocking on the door. No more, no more. Hear the people roar. See us at the door. No, no more, no more. We ain't lying, we ain't taking this no more. Gas keeps rising every week. You know you're lying, it's a global plan. Numbers don't lie, we can see it all. This ain't how it's gonna be anymore. You work for us, not the corporations. When our numbers, we alive, trying to just get by. Every rule, every fee, every lie takes a piece of you and me. We aren't free, you can only lie and push us so too far. Now we know just who you are. Scripting money for the corporation. This is the final straw. We won't take it anymore. Push to the edge now. We are knocking on the door. Not about left or right. We are your bosses, not the corporations. It's about wrong and right. It's about living a good life without this broken system. Stand together, side by side. They turned up the pressure. One voice becomes a way for us all, and we ain't afraid. This is the final straw. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take it anymore. Hear the people now. You have been warned. We will be stronger. You ain't seen this before. Listen, before we break down the door. No more taxes, no lies, no tricks. We ain't gonna take it anymore. Listen, listen, listen. We'll be knocking on the door. what we pay is tax. Half the price at the pump goes to the government in levies and taxes. We all hear the rumors, cost is passed to consumers. Everything gets more expensive with no false pretenses. Cut the fuel taxes. We want a fuel tax cut in this cost of living crisis with no false pretenses. Cut the fuel taxes. We want a fuel tax cut in this cost of living crisis. We want some relief, remove GST and fuel tax levies, lower the price at the pump. This is what the people want, make no mistake. It is our livelihoods that are at stake. We shouldn't have to plead or make a fuss. When government is elected by the people, then they work for us with no false pretenses. Cut the fuel taxes. We want a fuel tax cut in this cost of living crisis with no false pretenses. Cut the fuel taxes. We want a fuel tax.
Hello, good afternoon, kia ora. My name is Megan. I am here supporting the people doing the fuel tax protest in New Zealand. Today is the 16th of May, Saturday, and we have got this live streaming to Facebook, X, Telegram, and YouTube. If you want to get on, if you want to share. It has been really interesting this morning watching the footage pop up. You just saw some of it from our Telegram chats and our Facebook chats, all the people that have been out putting up signs, standing on the street, showing the public and expressing to those watching that we are not okay with the amount of tax going onto the fuel, especially at the moment when fuel is increasing. And I'm reading that it's 50% of the cost of our fuel is tax. So that is pretty wild. We've got some people that will jump on and let me know how their little towns are going, because at the moment there are something like 54 locations around the country where people have got together, made homemade signs. This is a grassroots organization, group of people that have come together to express how unhappy they are and that we need change in this country regarding the fuel. I wonder if we've got anyone in the studio that I can pull in. Just while I'm waiting on that, I thought I would just let people know that we've got, so our Facebook page, the Facebook page that the Fuel Tax Protest NZ is working from, is running. We'll be streaming this. They are showing a lot of the live stream footage and also a lot of the posters. So if you are driving past this afternoon, please give them a honk, show your support. We've got, I'm hoping to grab Phil Barrett, who has today been in Balclutha, and he's driven up to Dunedin. Now, Phil was the person to shout out the call to action that we absolutely needed to do something about the fuel tax. So back about a month ago, he did a Facebook Live asking for, expressing his unhappiness with the way things are going with the fuel and the government's refusal to remove the taxes, refusal to remove or even just consider it, So he's done a shout out, call to action on his Facebook page. That went to, in only a few days, it went to nearly 200,000 views. And then by the time I saw that, he was on RCR talking to Paul Brennan, by the time he was on talking to him only a week ago, the footage had actually reached nearly 400,000 views. However, if you go and have a look, the page now says only 50,000 views, which is pretty wild that they can drop the views down. I'm wondering if the other side of the studio is able to bring in Phil Barrett so we can find out what's going on. Phil has actually just, so he started in Balclutha this morning at 10 a.m. and joined with a group of people and has driven up to Dunedin, where there's quite a gathering at the Octagon. So I am hoping to see I'm hoping to be able to reach him. We also, if you can pop comments onto the page at Facebook, at the Facebook page, that'd be fantastic. We'll try and reply to some of your comments. That would be great. They've also sent me, so the Fuel Tax Protest New Zealand group have sent me their pamphlet, their brochure, just to let us know what their core demands are. I'm just going to read through some of those core demands while we wait for the other guys to jump into the studio. First of all, they want to cap GST at pre-conflict levels, because remember, this is around the US-Israel war with Iran and what's been happening with the Strait of Hormuz being, shut down, lots of infrastructure being bombed and destroyed, which means, of course, our access to fuel is really, really limited. All right, so we're having a little bit of problems in the back studio, but that's okay. I'm sure these guys will sort it out. So because the fuel has been, there's some limits around the tankers being on their way and the infrastructure destruction, fuel has gone up. Now, when fuel goes up, as I've learned from the Fuel Tax Protest NZ people, when the fuel price increases, the tax on top of it also increases, because of course it's a percentage. It's not just like, well, it's $1 a litre or instead it's a portion. So they're asking that we cap GST at pre-conflict levels. Also looking to cut the excise tax by 50%. They're talking about cancelling future fuel tax increases, because there are plans to increase the fuel taxes in January, which is wild, because at the moment, I don't know about you, but I've been sitting here today I've got my coat on because it's so cold. I don't want to put my heater on because the cost of my power bill is just getting out of control. And on top of that, my bills have gone up because I've got to pay more for food, got to pay more for curly hair product. It's taking longer to get here. I can't find it. So at the moment, they've got some massive concerns about the government's fuel tax increase. Can't believe they're actually increasing it, when really New Zealanders are saying decrease it. Now, I know that National had been talking about, and Nicola Willis and Luxon were talking about not wanting to reduce the fuel costs at the pump, because they, people who are, like them. Okay, look, we've actually managed to get, we've got Matt here from Dunedin, and we can see that we've got some people. I wonder if we can make that smaller, so you zoom me out and we pop him up a little higher. Great. All right, Matt, I'll get you to turn that around so that you are, people are up the right way. Okay, so at the moment we're just having some problems in the studio, but that's okay. It's good to see. I can see at least. All right, excellent. We've got some people here. Is this Phil? No. If you can scan around so we can see the whole space, that'd be great. Now, these things have been going since much earlier in the day, 12 o'clock. So I know that people have had to come and go. The same thing with the rest of the country, where we've had people putting out signs since 7 o'clock. In Christchurch, I've had information that there were people there earlier on, but a lot of people had to go off to kids' sports and stuff like that. So good to see a few people there. Matt, can you take us to Phil so that we can have a chat and find out how things were in Balclutha? Okay, so while we're waiting for that to sort out, the other issues that were being talked about in the core demands of the Fuel Tax Protest New Zealand information, as well as the tax reductions that I've mentioned, they also talked about removing the ETS levy, emissions trading scheme levy. So that's a pretty big one. Suspending the road user charges system. We don't need to be tracked. We don't need you to use this as a system to start bringing in more control, more monitoring of what we're doing. And of course, interim relief for essential services. it's wild what we're having to pay for fuel on top of all the costs that have been increasing. And of course, fuel accountability. So they want to see where's the tax going? This is pretty wild. All right, we've got Phil right here. Hi, Phil. How's it going? Can you hear me? All right, so this is Phil Barrett. We're going to get in close so we can hear what he's got to say. How you going, Phil? Excellent. We're waiting. We're ready to hear from you. If you're ready to tell us what's been happening. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Great. Hi, Phil. So you've come up from Balclutha.
Yeah, I've just travelled up from Balclutha now.
Pop that mic up. I can't quite hear you.
I have just come up from Balclutha now. Just turned up here.
Fantastic. And so, great. We've just live. We've seen a lot of footage from around the country. Can you tell us what is this about? What is the fuel tax protest about? Why are you here? Why are we doing this?
Well, the fuel tax protest is essentially about the amount of tax that's being loaded onto our fuel for our consumers. And we think there's room to move. We think there's room for the government to have a look at the settings and take some of that off.
So take some of the fuel tax off. That's what you're asking?
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a few other things that we would like too, but as far as that goes, we would like the GST capped to pre-conflict prices, so that any future rises don't attract any GST. I'm sure you know that every 10 cents a litre fuel price rise that has happened in the last wee while has generated $60 million for the government. That's quite extensive, and we're paying for that. It's on the back of people's hardships. So we'd like that capped. That's another one of them. There's plenty more.
And you said, so every 10 cents that they put fuel up, they gain $60 million in revenue for our country, for our roads, to fund things, and yet look at the state of the roads. Like my car's running over potholes all the time.
Well, you've got to remember that this is extra money. This is GST. So there's already been tax. They've already got the money to repair their roads. This is GST on top of the tax that they've already collected to repair the roads. So that's the bit of it that I'm really, not happy about.
Great. All right. Well, we'll let you carry on. You're about to give a speech. We're listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I can just carry on with what I was doing and stay where it's going. Thank you very much, Megan. You've done a marvellous job getting the word out there.
All right.
Yeah. So like I was just saying to Megan, that's Megan from RCR Radio, and they've done a really, really good job. They've supported us all the way through, and I can't thank them enough. The mainstream media have only just come on board this morning, really, the last couple of days, to pick up what we're trying to put down. So RCR Radio, New York.
And I will just clarify, I'm not from RCR Radio today. It's just me. I'm just helping out. Yeah.
What we're saying is I think there's quite a bit of room to move with the government, with what they're doing. And I'll just go over this bit again because I'm not sure if people heard that. Every 10 cents a litre, fuel's gone up, probably about $1.50, $1.60 in the last wee while. But every 10 cents of that increase is generated for the government $60 million per annum, okay? So 60 million times how many times the 10 cents has gone up. Now that GST is a tax on the excise tax that they've already collected to fix the roads. So I'm not listening to any nonsense from any government department that says we need that money to fix the roads, because you've already got the money. The bit they're getting on top of it is just pure greed, as far as I'm concerned. They don't need it. They didn't get it before they had the same amount to fix the road. That's a good point. So what we're saying is we want the GST capped to pre-conflict prices, and that way that there's no GST attracted on any future price rises. And I think that's fair. Be cool. And I'll just read the rest of the core demands out. Cut the excise tax by 50% and cancel any future fuel tax increases, because in 2027, I don't know if you realise it, in 2027 they're considering putting excise tax up even more. We're saying don't do that. And this isn't just a dumb idea dragged up by someone from the country that's come in cold one night and decided it was a shitty move. There's 30 other countries in the world that are actually doing something for their citizens right now. 30 other countries that have either dropped the excise tax, drops the GST, or dropped something to help their citizens. Our government has done absolutely nothing, and they're saying they can't. I believe they can. The only thing they have actually done is they've put it's an allowance in for primary care workers, and it's about 82 cents a kilometre, so that they can get to work. This is to help the elderly in their home, primary care workers, etc. The 82 cents that they get doesn't include going to work or coming home. So it's not really much of an incentive to go to work or to help the other if you don't get the first trip and the one home paid for. They get paid once they've been to work and they can go to their clients and go back. Whereas an MP at the moment, and anyone in the government department that's claiming their vehicle expenses, gets something like $1.17 or $1.18 per kilometre. It doesn't matter where they go, and they'll get it up to 14,000 kilometres a year at that rate. And I'm saying that what they should be doing is at least make that equitable for our primary care workers. Just to go on a wee bit more about some of the funding methods that they've got, one of our big bugbears is the road user charges, because everyone will tell you that the road user charges are what fixes the roads. And road user charges are on small diesel vehicles because there's no excise tax on diesel. So any diesel vehicle gets a road user charge. And they've actually extended that now to plug-in electric vehicles. So it's $38, 1,000 Ks for a plug-in electric vehicle, and $76 thereabouts for a small ute, runabout ute, contractors ute, thing like that. That's probably fair enough. But the one that's a real concern at the moment is heavy vehicles. There's your big rigs, you've got your four-wheeler truck, eight-wheeler trucks, and 5-axle trailers. They're the ones that cart freight. They're the ones that cart everything that you have in this city right now came on a truck. I can sort of guarantee it. If you look around, all these shops are full of things that came on a truck, okay? The road users for them have gone up over $400 per 1,000 Ks. About $440, I think they are. And if you're running a trailer, that's double that. So that's 400 times 2, 800. You're looking at the kicking the arse on $1,000 for 1,000 Ks. Where I come from in Balclutha, it's about 1,000 Ks round trip to Christchurch, back home again. So that's $1,000 that's added onto the back of every single thing that's on that truck.
Okay, so we've had some technical difficulties there, as you can see, with the muting.
Where I come from, it's diesel power. Everything you want to get done or get shifted has got a diesel engine in it. And it's really the lifeblood of the country. And we're in a remote, when you're in a rural area, you've got to get around this diesel that does it. So all I'm saying is people really need to have a really good think about how we can best help each other. So anyway, these Ks that are being paid for by heavy trucks and vehicles are supposed to go into the National Land Transport Fund. They all go in there, along with some excise tax for the people to fix the roads. $34.9 million of that money is just used by office pen pushers to administer the fund, to allocate the money. It's $34.9 million.
A lot of money.
Sorry, the pages stuck together because it's a bit wet in Balclutha.
It looks very cold there.
Okay, so if you drill down, and this is off their website, so I'm assuming the numbers they put on there are pretty right. It's approximately 25 to 30% of that National Transport Fund is actually used directly on state highways. That's the main road from Invercargill to Auckland. That's your state highway. So 25 to 30% of that money is used directly on that. But that number climbs to about 70%, 68, 70% when you include maintenance and other projects that are decided they're going to our fund. But that's still, and remembering, of course, you've already got your 0.6 cents a litre, which is abysmal, really. 0.6 cents a litre is what they use for your regional fund, for your roads around your district. There you can see. But it's still about 30%. 30% of the fund isn't being used for the roads. It's been used for things like administration, cycleways, walkways, public transport, safety, that's a good, and others. Now, I'm not opposed to any of that stuff, but what I'm saying, this is the road users. The road users of heavy vehicles are funding this sort of thing. What we're saying, as a group, it might be time that they just sort of slow down on some of these other things and just concentrate on what we really need in the meantime. That will give them a bit of wiggle room. Now we've got, these things can be done as a temporary measure. During COVID, the road users and the excise taxes actually dropped down a bit to help people out to get them back on their feet. And I actually think this is bigger than COVID. I think this has got the potential to be quite crippling. There's businesses now that are starting to really struggle. There's people going to work and they're being told things like, we don't know how much longer we can take this for. There's people putting half their wages when they get to work into the car so they can get to work. And that is just a really ridiculous setup for people, you know. They're coming home at the end of the week with half their money missing. And as I've said before, everything in this country relies on diesel fuel. Now, we've had a few responses from the government. Chris Bishop has said that he doesn't know anything about this protest, but in an article in the paper, or one of the articles, he answered most of the questions that we've been talking about, so I'm not sure where he got them from. And I've already gone on about the support package of 82 cents that they are paying people, that's true. But it's not enough. And it's not enough if it doesn't go far enough. I think they should just do it, pay parity with the parliamentarians and the rest of the government departments. They're getting the $1.17. It's actually up to $1.26. I just read my own notes here, so it's up to $1.26 that they can get, subsidised by us. To do their job. And their job at the moment, the politician's job at the moment, is flying around on us free air travel as well, because they get that, that's work. And they're looking for votes. They're looking for people to say, well, we'll vote for you this election. And they haven't joined the big dots. There's no point running around trying to make job creation if people can't actually afford to go to them. And there's not much point getting a job if your money's being dwindled away by having to pay fuel at the rates we are. I mean, that ute that I just drove in and just, you know, I'm just thinking of it. That ute that I just drove in and $260 to fill that up right now, if it was empty. Plus I've got road users on it as well. And it's, you know, that's just pathetic as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't need to be that clear. They could take the GST off it and they could take the ETS tax off 18 cents that they're not using for any sort of climate mitigation for a start. That would help. I see the Labor government have actually mentioned reducing the excise tax as an election pledge, or I don't know whether it's a pledge or whether it's just something they put on the news. So it is being talked about. The other thing that's being talked about, and I see a bit of a police presence, haven't been running around here before, they were talking about counter-protests. They were saying, I've been rung up a couple of times now because this has got so big, I don't know exactly what's happening around the countryside. There's some pretty big events planned. I realise that. And the police ring up and they say, well, there might be a counter protest. How are you going to sort that out? And I'm thinking, I'm thinking, who the hell would want to protest someone that's standing up to say that we need cheaper fuel for every one of you? Every single one of you that are here are affected by fuel in some way. So why? Why would the police think to me, there might be a counter protest? It just blows my mind. I know I come from the country, but it's just I couldn't work that out. And another thing on that note, the group that I'm now part of, and very proud to be part of it, this has grown. There's some really good people that have got involved, and we've got a really good admin team. And they've put a code of conduct out that everyone that was going to be part of this today had to abide by. So if you see any violence mentioned on the mainstream news, because they will hone in on that, that's what they do. If you see any violence in any of the bigger centres, it certainly wasn't started by us. We started by outside influence, and it's not condoned by us at all. We need the politicians up in Wellington to listen to us, and we will treat them with respect. And I wish they'd come down. I wish they'd just come down and have a yarn and put some of their fears to rest, or give us something to look forward to. Because seriously, I can see what's coming. I've had the conversations already with farmers and growers. There's things that haven't been done this year because they can't afford to do it. And once you lose your growing season, it's not like a video game. You can't just push reset and go, oh, well, that was wrong. Bugger it. We'll just have another crack, because you've lost the whole season. You can't just recreate 3 months of growing. And when that happens, things either get really, really expensive or they're just not there. And like I say, it doesn't matter if you're eating mushrooms or cows. It all comes on a truck, and it's all had diesel involved to get it there. The flow-on effects. The flow-on effects are actually bigger than what you realise. There's byproducts of refining. There's plastics. There's things that you don't even think about that are now in short supply. Plastic pipe fittings for plumbers. There's going to be all sorts of something that's way in mind about that. Baler trap's going to become very expensive because it's a byproduct of refining. And we have to deal with that. Not that that's actually not that there's a fuel tax problem, but it's going to be something else that's added on that we have to mitigate or work to get with later on. There's already stories of hardship. And within the group now of about 7,500 people that have joined in the last month, you hear stories of people struggling, reaching out for help. They don't know what else to do. And it's a pretty big chunk of your income is already taxed without adding any extra to it. I was hoping today that we were trying to create a generic letter that can go to your MPs. People saying what you can do to help. I was hoping that would be here. It's not. It's going to be online. There's a lot of stuff now is done online. I know some people are a bit allergic to being online. Perhaps you can get, like I had to, get your kids or your grandkids or someone who knows how to help you out with that. Because this isn't over. Today we were really trying to gauge support of whether it was worth carrying on. There's been a huge response online, but it would seem to me that a lot of people are quite happy just to sit at home and listen to what someone else has got to say, rather than come out. Which, it's a bit of a shame because vitamin D is quite good for you, really, out in the sunshine.
Yeah.
So what you can do, I know it's the beating, it might not last. We're just coming. Anyway.
Anyone watching this is Phil Barrett.
Positive things you can do is you can join the Fuel Tax Protest page on Facebook. You're most welcome to join. That's got all the information on it. It's got all the what do they call it? What's this? The petition. Yeah, I lost it for a minute. I've got all the petitions on there, and I know people think, petitions are a waste of time.
So, because if the fuel...
If you sign a petition,
so where...
and then all of a sudden, we can say we've got 11,000 people, we've got 12,000 people, we've got 50,000 people that agree with us. and we can go straight to that page and we can use that as a gauge when people pay us well. Because there's not much point if we're talking for 5 people, no one's going to listen to us, they don't care. But it makes a hell of a difference when you're talking for 50,000 people. So that's the main reason we want you to sign the petition. The petition, I think, is done by .org, and it's recognised in Parliament. We have got an MP that is going to table some of the petitions. I think there's actually 4 of them there in total. We have got an MP that will table those when we're ready to do it, or when they can fit it in, rather. And I think that's quite important. That's one of the things. So we are being recognised already. You've got to think this has only happened about a month ago. Like I say, I come home and had a bit of a bad day, and I thought, well, I've had a gut full. I'll reach out, and this is where it's ended. This is where it's ended up. And the other thing you can do, the petition, back on that. There's a donation thing in there somewhere. You can sidestep that. People are saying, I don't want to donate. You don't have to. We don't get the money. It's not for us. I think it goes to the company that's running it, if you choose to. But the biggest thing you can do at the moment is actually talk about what's happening. Talk about how it's affecting you, tell people. Because the more people that know, the more energy that's generated. There's no point sitting at home feeling bad about the fact that this is hurting your family and this is hurting you, and it's no good at all.
So this is Phil Barrett talking on behalf of the fuel tax protest.
And the other thing, I've already done the code of conduct. The other thing, this is a grassroots organisation. It's self-funding. None of us are getting paid for this. It's not about money. It's about doing the right thing. I'm not a politician. No, I'm not. And I'm not getting paid by anyone for saying what I'm saying. These are my opinions, and I'm actually passing on the opinions of others. And I'm not forming, or we're not forming a new political party. Some people think this is a bit of a stunt because of the timing of it. But the timing of it's actually crucial, because these people that are up in Parliament right now, they want their job. Once they've been in that environment, they want to get back in there. They don't want to lose it. And there's no point waiting for an election promise, because they all do that. They'll all tell you, they'll give you the moon. They'll give you the moon in pieces. That's what they say to get in there. I think they can do something about this straight away. They can do something before the election and really show people what they're made of. Because they have changed a heap of things in a hurry if they've wanted to. They've done it before. They sit there all night. They do it under urgency, and all of a sudden there's a real shit rule that's been changed. Why don't they do it for good? Because I know they can. And if they say they can't, they're lying. So basically, that's it from me. I just thank you for listening, and I hope that we can actually just get some more traction, get some more people to do something, because that's the next step, is to motivate people to go the next step, and that's to voice your opinion and to voice your actual right to say you've had enough, because that's the biggest thing. Everyone is allowed to say you've had enough, and they've got to listen sooner or later, because that's their job. We pay them to listen. So thank you.
Thanks, Phil. On behalf of us local Dunedin fellas, one of the things I just wanted to raise is that people are scared to put their head above the parapet. So thank you for putting your head above the parapet. But the noticeable thing that's missing here is our media. And no one from our local newspaper, unless they're hiding in behind the bushes, have bothered to turn up to report on this. We think that the mainstream media might be told to stay away because we're troublemakers, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We're trying to save everybody money, and not just pay it all at the gas pump to fill up the fat cats in Wellington. So on behalf of Ken and Matt, the locals here, and the locals that have joined us, and the ones from down south, and we're outnumbered, population of 100,000, got more from Balclutha here. But no, well done, and thanks for making the effort. And cheers to Phil and the rest of the team nationally that have put this together. There is some very cool people in the group that are trying to make a change. If you sit at home and do nothing, nothing will happen. If you try and make a stand, something may happen. So that's the plan. So Good on you. Thank you.
Well, that's great to hear from Dunedin. And we've got a few more people sitting around. So we've got Gabby, who is in Auckland. Gabby, we're ready to get you in if you're ready to join us. It sounds like there's been a lot of people. Sorry, that camera also was just run the wrong way. So I'm sorry that none of those signs are actually visible. They're mirrored. That's okay. As the guys were saying in Dunedin, it's interesting that there's no mainstream media coverage there. It's just a bunch of people who are, we're all citizen journalists reporting on what's going on. And so thank goodness. Great. We've got Gabby here. Hello. Gabby, how's it going? You're in Auckland.
Hi, Megan. Sorry, my recorder or microphone isn't very good at the moment, but I'll just find Luke.
No, we can hear you. Great. And if you do a little scan around so we can see who's there. Great to see a bunch of Kiwi flags.
Is the camera all right?
Yes, perfect. And whereabouts are you in Auckland at the moment?
Oh, no, I'll grab that please. Can you hold this? Just go. Just that. Dawn, you can hold it for me.
It's Donegal Dons.
Hi, how you going? Gabby, who are we talking to?
Hi, Megan. Sorry, now I've got a microphone. Can you see us properly?
Hi, Grant. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. So, hi. Nice to see you again. So this is Gabby. That's been part of the fuel tax protesting.
It was Full Bay admin on Facebook. It looks like he's on the phone. One of the Taranaki admin. He's up here in Auckland, though, so he's supporting us at our stand. He's also the police liaison for fuel tax protesting here. I just let our people here today know how grateful we are for them standing with us in regards to the fuel taxes and road user charges. So
Yes, great.
sorry, Megan, I can't hear you, so I'll just keep talking for a little bit.
We can't really hear you very well anyway, Gabby. But so what I will do is, if we just,
What I wanted to
I guess we're just going to have to shoot to, we're going to go to Georgie because we just can't hear anything that Gabby's saying. It's very.
Hello from Whangarei.
Hi, Georgie. How's it going? We've seen you've had footage. You've been out there for a while.
A little bit busy here, but I guess that's a good thing. We're all here hoping to get a cut on the fuel tax today. We're down at the Whangarei lights by the main bridge. And we've got a little dance going on in the background.
Gosh, you've got quite a few people there. How long have you been there today?
Yeah, we've got a big group of people here, so it's really exciting, and more people keep turning up, which is great.
Fantastic. Is it just that corner where people are, or is there a more?
At the moment, we're just on that corner. We've all just come back and gathered.
Brilliant. Okay, and so when, if you can cross legally, because of course this is a powerful, legal, peaceful protest. Once you're able to cross legally, can you pop over there and we can start talking to people about why it is that they've come along to the protest and what they're
Definitely. Right after this car.
And how long have you been there this morning?
You ready to talk?
Stuart again.
What was your question?
How long have you been there this morning?
How's it been this morning?
Sure.
It's been really good. Are you guys having fun? Yes. Love the two.
Great. Okay. So at the moment, your camera is it's.
I can find it.
Read the lines.
Yeah.
Tell us what signs say.
I don't know. Hello. How are you?
Great. Georgie, tell us. Grab some.
I don't know if anyone wants to come and have a chat. Do you guys want to say hello?
No, New Zealand deserves better than what we've been given.
Agreed.
That. Oh, we've even got the little ones here too.
Brilliant. Tell us what those signs say, Georgie, because we can't read them. All right. The issues with dealing with phone cameras, I guess, is that we end up. Great. All right. So I can't read those signs. Can you tell us what some of those signs say, Georgie?
So we've got cut the fuel tax. We've got if fuel rises, everything rises. Toot if you want a fuel tax cut. Everything under the sun.
Okay, brilliant. It looks like a really nice day up there. So fantastic to see everyone. Are there any business? Have you heard from?
Locals are really getting behind it with a lot of tooting going on.
And so, are you? How's the fuel cuts? How are the fuel cuts benefiting you? How are the increased fuel prices affecting you? Oh, we've lost her for a bit. A little bit of an internet issue. I guess when it comes down to it, fuel.
Am I back?
You are. I'm just wondering. So tell us how the fuel increases are affecting you.
For me, it's been really unfortunate. I actually had to take my son out of daycare because driving into town was just getting too much. So yeah, it's a shame because like my son's missing out on that more social interaction, as well as me not being able to go and do my own thing as well.
Okay, so that's pretty massive impact on a child's development.
Yeah, it's a shame. And like, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of those kind of comments on social media where a lot of parents are having to decide whether or not they're sending their kids to kindy. Because some of them, like when we live so rural up in Northland, it can take like half an hour each way. And that was what our situation was. So it's a very unfortunate reality. And transport isn't a luxury, you know? So they need to do something about it. And we're one of the few countries in the world where our government aren't doing anything, which is a shame.
Yeah, I spent some time growing up in the Bay of Islands, and I do remember the struggle of having to drive from the Bay of Islands to get to the supermarket, which was in Whangarei, actually.
Yes.
And, we didn't sometimes have a car, so I guess fuel was certainly not something in our budget. But when we had a car, that was a joint trip. My mother and the neighbour would pile into one car and we would all drive. I can't even imagine what that's like now with the cost of fuel increasing. The cost of food is just so much more expensive than it was. Really putting people into challenging place. I just saw in some news over in Australia that a woman was almost carjacked and she was able to get out of that situation. But things like that are flow-on effects from the fuel costing so much money where people are desperate. And, we don't want to see that to our beautiful country.
Yeah, especially for the farmers as well. Like it's getting to the point where farmers are going to have to make a choice whether or not they can even afford to harvest it because they're not going to make money from the supermarkets. And the supermarkets are such a monopoly that they won't pay the farmers more. So all of that is going to affect what hits our shelves in the long run.
Yep, it affects every aspect, doesn't it? And we've got someone here that might have a chat.
Yes. How are you finding the fuel at the moment and the cost?
It's pretty depressing, especially for families, and I'm single, and I'm finding it difficult, just trying to save it for savings, it's it's pretty hard. The shopping trolleys, I don't even need to take 3 bags anymore. It's 1 bag's enough, and I just barely fill that for $100. So it's true. But the thing that annoys me most is that we're paying for fuel, taxes on fuel, and the price rise for fuel that was already here.
Yeah.
And that's what really pisses me off the most. And so chances are all those people you saw protesting probably won't be voting for National in the next election.
Well, I don't think Labor, I think it's the way that the government works, isn't it? So
I'm hoping a lot of other people will be thinking like that as well.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people that are behind the one-term government movement.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, thanks very much. We're actually going to jump to Motueka now. Thank you so much, Whangarei. It was nice to hear from you. Great.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Bye,
guys.
Thank you.
Remember as well that there are some petitions that Phil has talked about. There's the Cut Fuel Taxes Now petition, And there is also opposing the road user charges surveillance system petition. They will be in the Facebook page for the fuel tax protest NZ page. So please make sure you have a look at that stuff because these are petitions that will be sent to the government. But we've got footage coming in here. We did have, we've lost Dave. Okay, we had Dave from Motueka. So they've had a convoy today, which is, gosh, it's a bit of an expensive day out if you're going to be convoying anywhere at the moment. So this is the convoy in Motueka. I think they've kept it quite short, the location that they're driving, because as Phil said in an earlier on, he has just filled up his ute for $260, which is about twice as much as he'd normally pay, and just to be able to get from Balclutha to Dunedin. So hopefully we can get Dave back on to talk about what Motueka is going. I wonder if, I guess coming up, so as the day goes on, there'll still be protests sort of around the country. This is just the start of the action. The rest of the action certainly needs to go to the petition that Fuel Tax Protest New Zealand is asking you to sign. Sharing information, if you can share these lives. They did talk about an interview that Phil did with RCR. And so if you have a look at rcr.media, I'm not here on behalf of them today. I'm just here as a citizen who is very concerned about the fuel prices and also access to fuel. It looks like we've got Dave. Dave, how you going? You've got no camera.
Where am I?
We can hear you though. So how's it going, Dave? We're about to you. We'll just do an audio chat. Hi, how are you? Now, Dave lives in part of the country where he is out of the cities, but unfortunately that means that he has...
Hey, Megan, I'm real good, thanks, mate. We've just finished our convoy getting back into our staging point. Went really well. Quite a lot of people, lots of totes, a lot of support. It's going really well.
Okay, brilliant. And okay, I can see some signs here because we couldn't see any signs before, but Fuel Tax Protest NZ, enough is enough. Fantastic. Cut the fuel tax, cap GST, remove the ETS levies, and a temporary suspension of the road user charges. What else have you seen today, Dave?
Well, we got a lot of support from the police. That was interesting. Though they did pull somebody up in the middle of our convoy that had for obscured vision and told her that she didn't have a warrant, but she's allowed to get leeway on that. They've been really supportive, lots of thumbs up, lots of people supporting on the side of the road, because this town, Motueka, is really heavily affected by what's going on because we're a primary industry town. So orchards and tourism, so all of those businesses are going to be really heavily affected, or already are. They're already noticing the pinch. So yeah, noticing a lot of that. But yeah, great support.
Fantastic. How many people do you think you were out today, or how many people in the convoy?
It's hard to say. We ended up with a lot.
Oh, we've lost that audio. This is some of, I can tell that looks like Marlborough wine country. Fuel taxes are crushing us. Absolutely no more tax on tax. Absolutely. I think this is the wildest thing that kind of came to me is that, what the Fuel Tax Protest New Zealand are telling us and some of the data they've got, if you have a look at their website and their YouTube channels, is that the tax on fuel is on the taxes on the fuel. So every time they put the taxes up, every time the fuel goes up, it's just piling on. So this is just getting out of hand. Anyway, I think we have got, everybody seems to be very busy in the middle of what they're doing. So it's been fantastic having you guys watch and share, and we will put up a whole lot of the clips and videos that have been sent in to us so that you can see what's going on. Please share those petitions and yeah, if you have any comments or questions, definitely send the guys a message on Facebook Messenger or chuck it in the comments. That'd be fantastic. All right. Well, I think we're going to cut to that song at the end and we'll leave it with that because I do love that. I think Rob Tockler has created this song. And I'm going to go and cycle into town so that I don't have to spend money on fuel. So have a really lovely afternoon, everyone. And we'll see you soon.
Speak up for all of us. We are on the public square. We were not allowed to put the signs out. We were told now to the police has asked to move the signs as well. They are our employees. We, the public, are their employers. So they actually need to do what we demand. The whole public. The country is running on diesel.
I'm here at the corner of Dent Street and Riverside Drive, Whangarei. Whangarei is the home of Marsden Point Oil Refinery, New Zealand's only oil refinery, which was closed down 4 years ago. The reason we're paying a high price for our fuel, which ends up being a lot more GST, is because we no longer have an oil refinery. And the government's creaming it. And the oil companies are creaming it. So I would have liked to have a bigger turnout, but unfortunately this is the way of New Zealand. They're all happy going fishing or going to their sports, going to the pub. But when it comes to something serious like the cost of living, because we're paying a lot more.
The price is steadily rising. Everyone's noticed what most people don't know. Half of what we pay is tax. Half the price at the pump goes to the government in levies and taxes. We all hear the rumors. Cost is passed to consumers. Everything gets more expensive with no false pretenses. Cut the fuel taxes. We want a fuel tax. How much more? How much more do we take? This is the final straw. Every dollar, every day, watch our freedom and country slipping away. Our hands are tied, voices ignored, but we're rising. Let's knock on the door. Working hard just to breathe, taxed on everything we need. Fuel is rising, making millions in taxes. Cost of living about to go sky high. Tell me how we live like that. Bills are stacking up, taxes on everything. They say short-term pain, long-term gain. Just more
We're live here at the moment in Dunedin. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Phil Barrett, and I am one of the people that started off this fuel tax protest in New Zealand. And it was out of frustration really about the amount of money that we're paying in tax at the pump for petrol and diesel. Almost 40%, or depending on how you do the equations, you can pretty well say 40% of the tax that we're paying at the pump is some form of, 40% of the price that we're paying at the pump is some form of tax. And we've got, I can give you a bit of an explanation of that as we go along. So today, there might be a few of us here, but today there's a heap of us around the countryside. In over 50 locations today, there's a unified stand against the price that we're paying at the pump. And not only that, I've just been told that also it's now overseas. We didn't know that, I don't think, when we started. But over in London, Ireland, in England, and I think Canada as well. They've got a stand of some description today going on about the fuel prices. And obviously the fuel prices are global, they're not just isolated to New Zealand. We get sort of put in a box sometimes where people think that it's only our problem, but it's not. And I was only just talking to a person this morning down in Balclutha who was over in Brazil, and he was watching what we were doing here in New Zealand. He comes from New Zealand, and he was watching it on his phone over there. So if you think you're not making any impact, you are. And in actual fact, I got broken into with the interrupted with what we were doing this morning by a radio interview with ZB Live. They just wanted to know what was happening. So we're definitely making a difference, and thank you for turning up. Some of the taxes that are on your fuel, there's an ETS tax, emissions trading scheme tax, and it varies between 10 and 18 cents a litre on your fuel. And obviously that was supposed to go to some sort of climate mitigation or climate fund or something like that. Since 2024, it hasn't actually done that. It's just been sitting around and it's joined the big land transport or National Land Transport Fund. And it was, I think most of it now has been divvied up to administer all the pine tree, forest and farming ruining things that they're doing. That money's just being used to administer that rather than any sort of real positive climate mitigation. So it's 18 cents. And that is actually charged to the fuel companies when we bring the fuel into the country. It's charged to the fuel companies by our government, and then it's charged to us at the pump, and we pay it on their behalf. So the fuel companies aren't even paying anything. We're doing it for them, and then giving it to the government. That needs looked at. The biggest thing that you'll know about is this excise tax. That's about 70 cents a litre. And you're led to believe that's for fixing the roads. It's also charged on LPG and CNG. It's not always being used for fixing the roads. There's levies, there's ACC, there's monitoring fees and levies, and there's a regional tax of 0.6 cents a litre, 0.6 cents a litre, which isn't very much. It's not even a cent that is going to fix local roads. And the worst thing about all the rest of it is there's GST on top of it. And GST is really just a tax on a tax. So we're getting taxed to the max.
every week. You know you're lying, it's a global plan. Numbers don't lie, we can see it all. This ain't how it's gonna be anymore. You work for us, not the corporations. When our numbers, we alive, trying to just get by. Every rule, every fee, every lie takes a piece of you and me. We aren't free, you can only lie and push us so too far. Now we know just who you are. Scripting money for the corporation. This is the final straw. We won't take it anymore. Push to the edge now. We are knocking on the door. Not about left or right. We are your bosses, not the corporations. It's about wrong and right. It's about living a good life without this broken system. Stand together, side by side. They turned up the pressure. One voice becomes a way for us all, and we ain't afraid. This is the final straw.
Alcohol. We pay for the fuel. It won't be harder, faster, and longer hours just to put petrol in our cars so we can go to work. And a lot of people, all they're doing is paying the rent. They're not even paying for food and power. And so that's where everything ties into that.
Allowance for their house they live in. So that one
They get benefits after they retire. My workplace doesn't pay for my petrol, or my shoes, or my clothes, anything. They just expect me to turn up to work and do a good job. We expect that from our government officials, and they have not done a good job, and they haven't for decades.
No, they don't. It doesn't matter what colour they are. Don't think by voting a different colour on
Labour and National
they're
are
exactly
from
the same
bird.
thing.
They are shitting
They're
the same
wings of
shit
the same
on all of
bird.
us.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
If they are true, they just, the left and the right will come from the same bird. Yeah.
How much more? How much more do we take? This is the final straw. Every dollar, every day, watch our freedom and country slipping away. Our hands are tied, voices ignored, but we're rising. Let's knock on the door. Working hard just to breathe, taxed on everything we need. Fuel is rising, making millions in taxes. Cost of living about to go sky high. Tell me how we live like that. Bills are stacking up, taxes on everything. They say short-term pain, long-term gain. Just more lies, more tricks, it's our country. Stand up New Zealand, Kia kaha. They fleece us like we are the sheep. We've been patient, we've been calm. Now we're sounding the alarm, calling everyone together. This is the final straw. We ain't gonna take this anymore. It's our country. Stop acting like it's yours. We will be knocking on the door. This is the final straw. You better hear our voices call. Pocket taxes, or we be standing at the door. It's our country. Stop
RCR with Paul Brennan.
Back with us again at RCR is Phil Barrett, Southland-based machinery operator on a large farm. He was on RCR a few weeks ago, you may remember, talking about the need for a protest here. He's back again, this time with an update on the growing movement. And that is a nationwide action plan for Saturday. That's this Saturday, May 16th.
Enough is enough. Join the fuel tax protest NZ. On Saturday, May 16th, 2026, we take action. Unite for change. Make your voice heard.
Phil, welcome back to RCR. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks.